From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a huge afternoon with breaking news as one of the major industries that propels the U.S. economy has collapsed overnight. What is that industry? It is crypto. And it is not just a crypto winter, it is a crypto crash of a magnitude no one would have expected. But now millions of Americans have lost their investment. We'll go over the latest details of why this recession is hitting so many industries, starting with inflation and going dramatically across the board. Meantime, new concern as the war in Ukraine and Russia could go on for years, and this could disrupt things like gasoline, wheat, and corn in the United States for many years to come. In this recording, we'll go over the price of gasoline and why it continues to go up, why it's likely to go to $10 a gallon, and why it could potentially stay there for years. Yes, I have the breaking news for a big June 19th, 2022 for the shores of Santa Monica, California. In this recording, you're going to see three things. We're going to go over where this economy is, where it's going, and why you got to get that fourth stimulus check that is in every U.S. state. I found it for you, and boy, it is wonderful. Single, married, with children, without children, on benefits, not on benefits, get that incredible fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. It's coming up later in this recording. Step one, subscribe. Step two, become a member, and stay with me. We're going to go over those incredible checks. Plus, we'll go over the breaking news as your benefits are going to go up. How much are they going to go up? Well, the latest details in today's recording from Santa Monica, California. But we have a lot of other breaking news. It is the downward spiral of this economy. Phase one, between now and September, how bad is it going to be? Then how bad is September going to be? And how bad is January, phase three, going to be in 2023? I analyze the data that we have. I get you prepared, and I get you informed of how to prepare your family financially, as the downward spiral of this economy is very pronounced and consumer confidence is falling apart. We have a lot in today's recording, a lot of breaking news, a lot of money coming up in later's recording. Become a member and sit back for America's most beloved show at the midtime. It's Afternoons LALATE, and the brand new broadcast starts right now for June 19th, 2022. And good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It is June 19, 2022 for the shores of Santa Monica, California. It's a beautiful weekend. It's been relatively very windy here in Santa Monica, California. Not too warm, but also not too cold. I think it's basically paradise weather. Don't want to rub it in there. Don't want to rub it in there. I know a lot of you are being hit by really bad weather out there. So enjoy the beautiful scenery of today's video because, yes, we're having gorgeous weather here in Santa Monica, California today. Also gorgeous in today's video is the incredible fourth stimulus checks in every U.S. state. They're coming up later in this recording. They're coming up. Have you become a member? Make sure you do. Go into this video right now and join this channel. This is LALATE, America's #3 most watched show on the financial in the financial industry in America landscape today. I do three things in every video. The first part is I go over where the economy is right today. I give you predictions of where the economy is going, and then I get you checks later in this recording. Where is the economy today for June 19, 2022? A crypto crash, a crypto winter, those words are not significant enough to express how horrific the situation is on one major part of this U.S. economy. Cryptocurrency has now disintegrated. I guess that's the better word you would say. Bitcoin, which had a high of $64,000 this year, had hovered generally around $44,000 a coin. Many people were predicting it to go to $100,000 by December. Fell dramatically this week from $40,000 to $30,000 and then saw trouble as it got under $30,000. Today, it has nearly been as low as 17,000 or 15,000. Imagine most Americans may have bought in around 30 or $40,000. They've lost nearly 40 to 50 to 60% of their value. In the case of Ethereum, it's a lot worse. Ethereum has dropped as low as $800 a coin. This is very troubling because a lot of Americans have seen their investments disappear overnight. And later in this recording, I'll be answering your questions because people are just asking, what do I do with my stocks now that they've been devalued? What do I do with my bonds? What do I do with my real estate holdings? What do I do as things continue to devalue? What's going on right now is basically something that's very predictable. When you have a downward spiral of this economy, things get really bad. And the worst items, or the most risky items, get hit the worst. Cryptocurrency first, out the door, going to get hit really badly. Speculative stocks getting hit really badly. That is why the stock market crash of 2022 is just starting. In a bear market, we go down 20%, but in a bear market plus a recession, we go down 48%. The recession is not going to start till next year. That is why the downward spiral on the stocks has just begun and will continue more pronounced next year. I want you to understand that across the board. What about real estate? Real estate values have not really plummeted just yet, and the inventory in the market for the housing has not grown too high that they're not selling the houses yet. That has a lot of downside to still hit. I'll go over more of that in a second. What's going on is that this economy has made it a quick, abrupt phase. And last night on Evenings LA, I did a new type of theme, reality check. Reality check, because a lot of people don't realize when things change from really good to really bad in such a short period of time, that switcheroo is happening. It started back in February, when you may have thought this economy was pretty good, it looked pretty good, airlines were charging a lot, restaurants were charging a lot, auto dealerships was charging a lot, and then started to switch. How did you do it? Because you're watching the channel. I had said, wait a second, there's a lot of things going wrong with this economy. Number one, I had said that inflation would come in at 8% in December 2021 and would not come down, would be not temporary, transitory, would actually be heightened. And Federal Reserve Chair Jay Powell got it really wrong. He said 2 to 3% was going to come down. When February came around, we realized inflation was not going down. That was the first major warning signal. Number two, when Putin invaded Ukraine in March, we saw our biggest warning signal. I said on this channel 2 things were happening in March. One, price of gasoline is going to go through the roof. Unless the Western allies, which include the United States, get a replacement of gasoline at 3.5 million barrels a day, if gasoline stays at its then heightened levels of March of over $4 a gallon, then into the month of May, we're going to recession. Well, it happened. Now we're higher than that. The price of green and corn out of Ukraine and no longer able to be harvested is bringing the price internationally higher. That's not sustainable. Into the month of May, we go to recession. We're going into the month of July, folks. And obviously, we're going to recession. Since the January months, what has happened? In February, I said we're going to recession for 2 years, starting in January 2023. I was the only major U.S. broadcaster in financial news reporting that at the time. No one would even dare say the word recession. In fact, some of the banks refused not to even say it, thought that was going to spook their investors. Deutsche Bank was the first bank to say recession in an announcement in April of this year. What happened so dramatically? What happens in these situations is that the American people need to see a warning signal that is so clear, so apparent, so obvious, that then they realize there's something wrong and that what they're being told may not be accurate. The situation was obviously the gasoline. They understood that after the gasoline went to $5 at the pump and stayed there week after week after week, there was something wrong. This was not supposed to be a one-time pop. It was prolonged, it was consistent. Something was going on. And as that continued to go on, people realized, wait a second, there may be a problem. The problem at issue was that the Federal Reserve was thinking they could solve the situation with gasoline, interest rates, and inflation, all with the tools in their toolbox, and they couldn't. And people generally perceive the Federal Reserve as a source of reason, a Federal Reserve as a source of solutions, a Federal Reserve as a source of financial stability. And the Federal Reserve was playing upon that dependency, that well regard for its institution. And back in the month of March, I said there's going to be a change. There's going to be a change as people suddenly realize that the Federal Reserve is not doing it right. Federal Reserve has gotten it wrong. Federal Reserve is not apologizing. And Federal Reserve is doubling down with what I call nonsense. And I didn't know how fast that erosion of that confidence in the Federal Reserve would hit. It hit 2 weeks ago. When the Consumer Price Index number was released in the American public on a Friday, the CPI is a gauge of inflation. And what happened? For the month of May, it was a May number released in June. It showed that inflation went higher, from 8.3% to 8.5%, while the Federal Reserve said they were getting it down. They were raising interest rates. It was going to work. It was going to get CPI down. Suddenly people realize, wait a second, what the Federal Reserve may be saying to me is incorrect. What the Federal Reserve may be doing is incorrect. And there may be a bigger problem, and I'm not being told the entire story by the Federal Reserve. That was the wake-up call. And that is why situation deteriorated very quickly overnight. I really believe that CPI read, which was 2 Fridays ago, changed the landscape. We had a lot of things that came in right after that. Number one, consumer confidence fell apart later that day. A new poll later that day that asked consumer confidence, and it was the lowest number we've seen since the start of the pandemic. Number two, for the first time really in a long time, we had a lot of financial analysts finally saying what I've been saying since February. Raising interest rates does not get down inflation. Jay Powell has it really wrong. Number three, the average American now understood the storyline. They were not even watching financial news. They understood the storyline because it was being repeated so much in American culture. These people at the Federal Reserve are raising interest rates to battle inflation. It's not going to work. They're going to send you in a recession. Americans were understanding that is the storyline right now. And when you have so many Americans understanding that storyline, then suddenly consumer confidence falls apart. That is why you got to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. That is what this channel does. I show you the situation right now. I tell you where the economy is going. And I got to get you the forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. Where is the situation today? And where we're going, and where are those checks? So later in this recording, we're going to go over those incredible forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. Step one, subscribe. Step two, become a member. Go under this video, hit that join button, and stay with me in the second half. We're going to go over those incredible checks. Where are we today, and where we're going? All right. You've been with this channel for the last year. You've seen every financial prediction I have gotten right. I got the inflation number right in December 2021. Got it right in spring of this year. I got the recession prediction right last year. Now analysts are saying the same thing. And I got the inflation number by the end of this year right as well. Jay Powell just spoke yesterday, saying he's getting inflation down to 2%. You know, if someone says something that no one believes and continues to repeat the statement that no one believes, you lose confidence in that person. Department of Labor, CBO, all now co-subscribe my analysis, also Wall Street as well. I was the first guy that said he's not getting down to 2% inflation by the end of the year. He's getting down to 4%. It's a big difference. And what did he say yesterday? I'm getting down to 2%. He's not believable anymore. He's really not believable what comes out of his mouth because he keeps on saying nonsense. And every time he says he's going to do something that's going to cause something to happen, the thing doesn't happen. Hasn't reduced inflation yet in now 6 months of whatever he says he's doing by raising interest rates. People are catching on. They understand what he's saying does not work, and what he continually says may not be believable anymore. And with that, what is happening? What is happening is a very big pivot of this economy from February into September. We're currently in June, and you got 3 months away. The great news, the wonderful news, the dedicated, caring, and comforting news today is that you have a pre-warning of a major financial collapse of this economy by September ahead of time because you're watching LALATE. You're watching it now, and you have time. You have a 3-month window to prepare your family, your household, your town, your community, your church, your business for that financial downturn of this economy by September. First, what's going to happen in September? My analysis is that September will mirror day one of the lockdown of the pandemic of March 2020. It's going to be that severe. The only difference is then you had no pre-warning. They said, hi, go on lockdown. Excuse me, what is a lockdown? I've never heard of a lockdown. What does that mean? You mean you stay in your home? How do I make money? You don't. You go on lockdown. And that is what happened in March of 2020. And suddenly, no one had any pre warning, and people were panicking, looking for money left and right. Many people lost their homes. A lot of people lost their businesses because there's no pre warning. This time, it's different. This time, there is a pre warning. It's on this channel. I've been pre warning September since February. But now, if you just found this channel, God bless. Thank you for joining LA. You're watching the channel that gets it right, the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, heading to number 2 of a major change coming to this channel in less than 3 months as well. You gotta prepare now before the financial collapse of September, so you have a leadway. What do you do? Let's go over that right now. First, what you want to do is become a member. Go on this video and subscribe, and stay with me in the second half and get these 4 stimulus checks in every USA. Number 2, if you're an employee and you have a job right now, I want you to do the following. I want you to look and see who else has a job like yours close by. If you're laid off tomorrow, could you get that job at that other place really quickly? And if the answer is yes, then what I want you to do for yourself between now and September is stalk that other business, and make sure they're financially stable, and watch them like a hawk, because you never know, in a blink of an eye, you may be laid off. If you're laid off, I want you to immediately go right to that other job and apply right away. Do not ask for a salary raise. Do not ask for a hiring bonus. Do not try to negotiate tough as nails. Just take the job. I want you to be prepared, because people are being laid off. The layoffs have been detailed on this channel by you, the viewers, before corporate America, because I trained you how to be the eyes and ears before it's being read in the financial news. What happened? It was about a month ago when Walmart reported corporate earnings, and they said there's too many store employees on the floor of Walmart. Now, if you're a Walmart employee and you hear that in the corporate earnings reports of Q1 of this year, you immediately panic. You say, that sounds like you're laying me off. It is. It basically language that you're going to get laid off. And what also then happens? I want you to understand the significance of this 2-word expression, because you may never have seen it before. You may be too young. It's called hiring freeze. Hiring freeze is a horrible thing. Hiring freeze basically means you go to knock on a person's door, and there's going to be a sign on the door: we're not accepting any applications for new job applicants. Well, you mean today? No. For the whole rest of the year, maybe for the next 3 years. What? Excuse me? I need a job. No, we have a hiring freeze. And if you've never seen that before, I gotta tell you, it scares I almost cursed. It scares the socks off of you. When I came out of college, there was a hiring freeze. There was a hiring freeze. And guess what? You couldn't find a job anywhere. Public service, whether it's city or county or state, hiring freezes. No one was hiring anyone for years. There was a hiring freeze in the private sector as well. If you got a local job for $7 an hour, you took it, because there was literally no jobs. Hiring freezes are very scary. So we have Tesla announcing hiring freezes, laying off 10% of its workforce. We have Coinbase laying off 8% of its workforce, hiring freezes. But I got to tell you, what's the next step? Store closures. I've done this. LALATE has been around many, many years before there was a YouTube channel. LALATE has been covering store closures for many, many years, and store closures are very scary. You wake up one morning and suddenly they announce 20 store locations across 3 states are closing, and suddenly you don't have a job. And so what I want you to do is prepare for that backup job. Number 2, if you're not an employee, you're a retiree, you're a senior, you're on benefits, this is what I want you to do right now. Whatever cash you have, hoard it. Do not spend it if you can avoid spending it. A new report featured on Evenings LA last night was that a vast majority of seniors in a new poll say that they are now dipping into their savings, wrong thing to do, and that they're increasing the credit card debt, really wrong thing to do. You don't want to do either of those things. You don't want to dip in your savings, and you do not want to increase any debt. I don't care what age you are. You don't increase any debt. Why? Because Jay Powell raised interest rates last week, 3/4. He's going to do 3/4 in July, my predictions. He's off in August, half in September, half in October, quarter in November. Imagine how high the interest rate is going to be on your debt that you try to take this month. Don't do it. Then, for anyone who does already have debt before you found this channel, get rid of it. If you have credit card debt, pay it off, please. If you have flexible debt like a car loan, switch it to a fixed if you can. Get rid of it. Number three, if you're a small business owner, do not do what corporate America is doing. Corporate America is going in the tank. And I don't mean Shark Tank, I mean the garbage tank. They are going in the tank because they are doing one thing and one thing only, being greedy and trying to ink out a profit like it's last year. Greediness is the evilness of business minds. And what happens? Whether it is auto, whether it's travel or leisure, whether it's housing, or whether it's hospitality, all four industries or five industries are doing the same thing right now, and they're both going in the tank. They are experiencing higher costs to run their business, whether it's the material costs or labor costs. And because of that, they say, well, my revenue hasn't gone up. I don't want to make a less profit. I'll just raise the price of my product so that I had the same profit I had last year. Bad move. If you're a small business owner, I know you are, you may be watching this channel right now, do not do that because those industries are going under. Did you watch what happened to the cruise industry last week? Their stocks are literally at the lowest levels we've seen since almost 2019. They're lower than the pandemic. Why? They're doing that. They're losing their shirts. How about aerospace, or I should say travel and leisure? The airlines, their bookings are down 3% month after month. Now, I got to tell you, there are some analysts out there that run these stories. Even today, I read one this morning that says the airlines, people are still happy to pay $500 for a 2,000% overpriced ticket. No, they're not. They're not. That is a wrong analysis. And the airlines may see that analysis, say, yeah, let's just stick it to the consumer and overprice the ticket so that we have the same profit levels. They're losing their shirts. Auto down 70% year to date before we have the problems at issue. What are they doing? They're trying to ink out, they admit it, a $5,000 profit per car when they normally get a $2,000 profit per car. They're not actually trying to keep the same profit levels last year. They're trying to make more of a profit level. Is it working? No, they're losing their shirts. Are you buying? No, because you can't afford a car loan because of the interest rates. In fact, Tesla raised the price of the car $6,000 this last week. Ridiculous is ridiculous. And then when you turn to restaurant and beverage, which is hospitality, they're doing the same thing. The most obvious example of this is housing. Housing is literally going to be a sea of tears because home builders and homeowners are absolutely going to cry their tears to bed. What are they going to do? They have thought that because material costs have gone up, labor costs have gone up, and they want a beautiful profit on potentially a house they're flipping that they bought last year, then they realized to get a higher profit, they have to raise the price of the home to a level that no one will really buy it at, and the mortgage rates are at the worst levels in 20 years. That's why mortgage applications are at the lowest levels of 20 years. The home buyer's not there. Home buyer's not there. People are going to lose their homes because they are too greedy and wanting too much of a profit. Get ready to see people lose their homes because the greediness is killing their approach across the board. Finally, on the other side, if you're not a seller but a buyer, what should you do? You should do what the millennials do. And a new report out today, new report actually out yesterday. Millennials are really sensible in the situation. They are not doing big ticket purchases because they cannot afford them. Cars, housing, anything that's a big ticket item, they're staying away from. They are not increasing any type of debt. Good. And they're not doing any type of new investing. Finally, let's talk about investing because people have been asking me that question. I've not gone over in this channel. If you do not own stocks, do not go buy stocks. If you do not own bonds, do not go buy bonds. This is not the bottom. I will literally pull my hair out if anyone says buy on the dip. That is one of the ridiculous, silliest, stupidest expressions that came out of the pandemic. Buying on the dip. People think that every time things are down 1%, that's a dip. No, when you're down 48%, that's not a dip. That's a crash. That is people losing their shirt. So do not buy. We're going down a lot, and it's going to take a long time to find the bottom of the stock market. And as I told you, it's going to go down 48%. The whole market, not just one stock, the whole market. That will not happen just yet. It'll take us all the way into 2023, and you're not potentially going to see the downside, the bottom of the market until 2023 or 2024. That basically means if you bought something today, it'll have less value next year. Do you want to do that? No. If you have $10, why would you put in stocks if it's going to be worth $8 all next year? No. Keep cash. Cash is king. Finally, if you have positions, whether they're in stocks or bonds or crypto, God forbid, and now they are substantially less in value, what do? This is the situation that hits when people see assets devalue. If you do not need access to that cash over the next 2 years, then close your eyes and just wait for it to come back in 2 years and have a better value. If you do not need access to the cash, then just close your eyes and don't look at it. If you potentially have a lot of income this year and you need some losses to ride against those losses, then consult your tax accountant, because I'm not one of them. He or she may say, hey, maybe take a loss on some of those bad performing stocks because you have so much profits across the board. Otherwise, you need some deductions. But other than that, if you don't, you're going to have to just close your eyes and say, you know what? My stocks are down. They're going to be down for 2 more years, and then they'll be back. I'm not going to touch them. In the case of crypto, it could be many years. It could be many, many years. The last crypto crash, as you remember, was in December of 2020. And then it started to pick up in early 2021. That's when you saw those charts go like this, early January, February of 2021. And then it reached the peak in November of 2021, and then has been straight down since then. You're just going to have to sit, and if you can sit it out, sit it out. If you can't and you need access to the cash, then ultimately that's a determination you got to make. I'm glad I went over this because people have been asking about it, and it belongs somewhere in a recording, and I don't know where it belonged, and I put it here, and I'm glad I did. In the second half of this video, finally we're going to get some checks. Some bloody checks. We need some checks right now. We're going to get those 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. They became law in March. Viewers of this channel said, go get them for me. Give me some checks. I found them for you. Let me go over what these checks mean, how it works. My viewers were trained really well and have learned really well. Get money when times are good. Do not wait till your back is against the wall. And back in March, times were not that bad. And viewers said, you have some checks? They aren't getting this Build Back Better Act done right away. And I looked high and low and I found them. There's different ways for stimulus checks to come to you. 2 of the ways are from executive action and from the states. And that's where these checks came from. Eligibility is so key, and I'm always focused on eligibility. And that is why you're going to like these checks because, as Kat says, LA, you're really focused on eligibility. I have 2 focuses, really 3 focuses with checks for you. 1, I want the most of you qualified for the checks. 2, I want the checks big amount of money. And 3, I want you to keep on getting checks. First, these checks have broad eligibility. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get them. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get them. If you rent, if you own, go get them. Children, without children, go get it. If you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, veterans benefits or not, go get them. Next, the checks are big checks. Anyone who says, I want a $200 check, you're wasting your time because you know very well you're going to fill up the tank of the gasoline of the car and it's going to use up half of that check, and the next day the check's gone. I need you to get checks that makes you financially independent between now and September, helps you survive between now and September, and potentially checks that help you survive all the way to January. The only way you do that is big checks, thousands or tens of thousands of dollars of checks, and I have them for you in the second half, upwards of 80,000. Finally, I need you to make sure that you get as many checks as you can. And in the second half, we're going to go over those big checks. You know what to do. 3 things. Subscribe, become a member, and hit that bell under this video. First, go under this video right now and hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss a single video. There's so much breaking news. There's so much downward spiral in this economy. You cannot miss where this economy is going. It could tank on you in just a few hours. You won't miss it because if you're watching this channel, I'll have the breaking news for you. Step 2, become a member. Go under the video and become a member and get that incredible newsletter everyone is talking about. The only newsletter of its kind in America that has the details of this economy and has that 4 stimulus check in every U.S. state, lots of them. And number 3, hit that little bell under the video and make sure the notification is set to all on. Also, in the second half of this video, we're going to go over the raising up of benefits. It's great news. Plus, I'll be going over something that I touched on yesterday. It's very important. The mindset of the American people as the economy gets worse and their approach to stimulus. You need to hear it. It impacts you. It's coming up in the second half. But first, become a member, and I'll see you back in 60 seconds. As America's most loved show at the midday continues, but first, Here's a little bit about the members community page. See you back shortly. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. They're Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals. Reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the break continues right now for June 19th, 2022 from the shores of Santa Monica, California. It's a beautiful afternoon, and I hope you are having a great weekend. I'll be with you all this week on afternoons with brand new shows at 3 o'clock and evenings with brand new shows at 5 o'clock. Tonight is a brand new evenings in prime time. Make sure you tune in for that show. I'll be in the live chat. Did you become a member during the commercial break? I hope you did. Go out in this video and join this channel. Become a member, get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday, and get that 4 stimulus check in every U.S. state. And with that, let's go over these incredible checks. Then we'll go over the mindset of stimulus, which is brand new today on this channel. And number 3, we'll go over those raising up of your benefits. A 4 stimulus check is now in every U.S. state, more than one, lots of them, and they landed by executive action from Joseph Biden and from your states. They're huge, and the viewers of this channel back in the month of March said, Ella, can you find them for me? And that's what I do. I get people checks. This is the third part of what every video does on this channel. I get people the actual money. And we're going to go over those incredible checks right now. The eligibility I just went over, you qualify. The push, you go get them. Those checks are there right now in every U.S. state. And finally, the lettering system. I give it a lettering system so you track it with me during the videos, and it makes it very simple for you. It's only a lettering system you're going to see on this channel. You ready for some checks? Let's go get them. Let's not wait. Let's get that very first check. The first check is a $6,500 to $12,000  4 stimulus check in every U.S. state. Wow. Imagine $12,000. That's a lot of money. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you are on benefits or not, go get it. How do you get it? Step 1, become a member. Step 2, go write down that membership newsletter till you find Check A. And Step 3, apply. Right where it says Check A, it has a description, has the nationwide website. You click the link, you go right into the website. You apply online, sends you to the nationwide website, choose your state, and then you pounce. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member. And Step 3, go get that incredible Check A. You're not going to stop there yet. You're going to go get Check B then. Check B is a $15,000 to $80,000  4 stimulus check in every U.S. state. The average view of this channel is tracking $66,000 to $80,000. Imagine how much money $80,000 is. Imagine how long $80,000 would pay for your household. 6 months? A year? Year and a half? Yes, this is what I aspire to do. This is what I aspire to do because I care about you. I need to know that you are able to survive the downward spiral of this economy in September. I need to know that you can survive from September into January as well. So this is why I care for you, and I put the tough love in the video to make sure you get these checks right today. 3 months out, you have a pre-warning, but I don't want you to wait 3 months to get these checks. 3 weeks or 3 days. I want you to do it right today within the next 3 hours. Go right down in that incredible newsletter till you find Check B. Click the link. It goes to the nationwide website. Then choose your state and you go get it. You're not going to stop there yet. You're going to go get Check C. Check C is for my renters and also homeowners. It's an MSE, a monthly stimulus check, on average $2,000 a month over 12 months for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. These incredible checks are all detailed in the membership newsletter as well. What do you do to get Check C? Subscribe to this channel, then go into the video, join the channel, then go into the membership newsletter, and it describes where to call for Check C, what to say, and how to say it. The success stories of Check C date back to the very earliest days of this channel because it was first then called Purple, then it became Third Stimulus, now it's called Check C. Viewers have gotten enormous sums of money by doing Check C by listening. Listening is so important on this channel because I do things very specifically for you to make sure you follow the specific guidelines, the specific instructions. Look at these numbers for rent that viewers have gotten from Check C. Do you want it? Go get it. Go get it. How about the utilities? Mark's brother-in-law is getting $15,000 a year. How about his SNAP? He's getting $25,000 over 10 years. That's $250,000. Look at these combo numbers. Combo numbers involve people who got one check and then another check or more. Nisi had $23,000 at the time. She keeps on getting checks, like Margaret, like Mark, like Lorraine, and she went from $23,000 to $50,000. Mark went from $32,000 to $50,000 to $100,000 to $166 because he got check B. Lorraine, she went from $105 to $120, and Johnny started with $45,000 on a Wednesday. In 3 days, he went to $80,000 by the end of the week. He helped his two family members both get $50,000. Then he helped over a dozen neighbors and friends get nearly $400,000. How do you do this? You listen, you pounce, and you move right today. Step 1, subscribe. Go right in on this video, hit that subscribe button. Step 2, there's a little bell. Make sure you hit that bell so it's all notifications, ALL. And number 3, go under this video and hit the member button, the join button. Join this channel. Join this channel and become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. You're in the live chat right now. Do you see the people with the beautiful emoji of a Purple Hawk behind their name? They're members. Join the thousands of members on this channel and the hundreds of thousands of subscribers as well. Do it right today and get this incredible checks. Go right in the membership newsletter, get it, and there you go. Now let's go over the notion and the psyche of stimulus, which is brand new today on Afternoons LA. It's very important that you get a sense of what else is out there, because that thing out there competes with you. You're getting stimulus right now because I'm telling you to do it right now, because in September, this economy is going to be really bad. If the economy is really bad in September, what's going to happen? You know the answer, stimulus stampede. People are going to have big problems, big financial problems, and they're going to look left and right for stimulus. That September, this September, will mirror the start of the pandemic, the lockdown of the pandemic. The only difference was the lockdown of the pandemic had a lot of stimulus instruments, and those instruments are all gone. And I don't believe a lot of Americans who don't watch this channel know that. I believe that Americans are going to get laid off, and they're going to say, do you have extra weeks of benefits, that PEUC? No, it doesn't exist anymore. Do you have that PUA for independent contractors that are laid off? No, it doesn't exist anymore. Do you have that FPUC, that $600 a week that goes on top of existing benefits? No, doesn't exist anymore. What about LWA? Gone. PPP? Gone. EIDL grant? Gone. EIDL loan? Gone. I don't care if you're a small business owner or employee. I don't care if you're a retiree with pandemic EBT or students or children. A lot of these instruments are gone. How does this impact psyches? I really believe that the reality check has not hit and will not hit until potentially September. The reality check is, I believe in my heart, and this is a prediction, that Americans think that if the economy gets really bad, the federal government is going to help them, because the federal government helped them in the pandemic, which was just 2 years ago. And the federal government helped them coming out of the pandemic, which was just last year. I really do believe that the psyche, the mentality of the American people is that when this economy gets really bad, the federal government will be there to help them. I got to tell you, different year, different times, different reasons, different situation. No, you cannot predict and expect the federal government to bail you out if we go into recession. You can't, in January 2023, you cannot predict or expect the federal government to bail you out if we go into financial meltdown in September. So, if you're an employee and you potentially get laid off, that's why I taught you earlier in this video how to prepare to get another job right away. Do not expect to get unemployment benefits like you saw them in 2020. Gone. If you're a small business owner, you're worried you're going to lose your business by September. Prepare accordingly right now by cutting costs and getting lean and mean and make sure you can survive a downward spiral of this economy, because there will be no business grants. The notion of, the pandemic, I'm a restaurant owner, there's going to be a restaurant stimulus. I'm a Broadway musical, there's going to be Broadway musical stimulus. It's just not going to happen this time. Trust me, it's not going to happen like that. And then finally, if you're on benefits like SSI or SSDI and you think, well, they got to take care of seniors, they got to take care of people on benefits, they got to take care of young children, they got to take care of nutrition. They did it before, they'll do it again for me. No, no, no. You cannot sit back and expect that to happen and make your life financially dependent upon the expected event that may not happen. It may happen, but you cannot be financially dependent upon hoping that's going to happen. This is what we talk about with silliness. A comment that came out yesterday, and I'm going to run the quote a lot because I love the quote, came in from Alliance Chief Investment Advisor Mohammed El Ararian, who says, during this bull run, during this great progress and growth of the U.S. economy and other countries, the central banks of the United States and other countries were supporting the economy so that they had 0% interest rates. It's a fake interest rate. 0% interest rate was created by central banks like the United States and everywhere else. It's not going to happen anymore. They've moved away from it. And he said this was injections where everyone got used to zero interest rates, where we did silly things, investing in parts of the market where we shouldn't be invested in, and investing in our economy in ways we shouldn't, doesn't make sense. Silliness was just left and right. In mid-2021, I remember recording on this channel a video in which I said I went out to a restaurant last night, a bar. I remember the visual. I was sitting in the bar, and there was literally clusters of men and women at different tables talking, and I could hear them saying, "I just bought Cardano. I just got Polygon. I just bought Bitcoin. I just bought Ethereum." Everyone just buying things like good times are here to stay. Buying crypto like it's going out of style. Like, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to have a lot of big winning days. And I could see the facial reactions on these people. The facial reactions is that they only think that times are good. There's always bad times in investing. There's always ups and there's always downs. Imagine where those people are today. Imagine about all those YouTube channels that told you that they thought that Dogecoin was going to be accepted currency of choice at a particular business and that Dogecoin is going to $1. Imagine how ridiculous those videos look today. Imagine about how all those videos that talked about buying real estate and how you should really buy real estate and use the real estate and do this with the real estate and flip it and flip it and flip it. Imagine how ridiculous those videos look today. Silly things at silly times burn people really bad. And you know what's also silly right today? Is people other than you. Just ignore them and do what you gotta do. What you are doing is so correct. What you are doing is understanding, I need to know what's going on with this economy by the hour, by the day. I need to know where it is today, and I need to know where it's going later this week, and I need to know where it's going in 6 months from now. And I need someone who does it right, who consistently is writing projections on the economy, that uses the analysis, explains it to me in a way I need to know. I need to know it because I need to prepare my family. I need to prepare myself. I need to prepare my business. I need that. That is what LALATE has done so well. Whether it was last week where I said the unemployment claims are going to come in 230,000, they came in at 229,000. Whether it's the recession of 2023, that analysts now confirming my analysis. Whether it's the inflation, as I said, it was going to come in at 8% last year, and it was not going to come down. And whether it is also the great news about your benefits. I told your benefits were going to go up. I told you they were going to go up. And they have now been confirmed. Let's go over the details of this. This is all in the membership newsletter for you as well. If you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, veterans benefits, RB, your benefits are going up. How much? I'm going to zoom through this. It's a little complicated. It'll be more tonight on Evenings LA. It's complicated. I admit it's complicated. Your benefits are currently tied to COLA. COLA is dependent upon a number called the CPI-W. Sound familiar? It should. It's a subsection of the CPI number, which we went over earlier in this recording. That was the number released 2 weeks ago. It's an inflation number. As the CPI-W goes up, so does the CPI. What is that number dependent upon? It's dependent upon gasoline. So, based upon that number, 2 Fridays ago, the chief actuary of the Social Security Administration says he believes that the COLA number in December will be at 8%. That means your benefits will go up 8%, not just that month, not just that year, but lifetime. That's about $300 more per month. Wow, great news. Now, is the news even better? Yes, I believe the number will actually be higher. Goss is basically taking the current data and extrapolating or predicting based upon the current situation. When I take the situation and I look at what's happening with the White House and not getting the replacement of gasoline needed, 3.5 million barrels of gasoline missing per day, gasoline prices, in my opinion, are going to stay as high as they are or go higher. If that's the case, inflation goes higher. Inflation goes higher, the CPI goes higher, the CPI-W goes higher, and hence COLA goes higher. Pretty simple, isn't it? It's all in the membership newsletter if it's too hard to follow. With my analysis, then I believe the number would be closer to 9% your benefits would go up. How do we know definitively when and where and how much? July, August, and September. Those 3 numbers for the CPI-W determine how much your benefits are going to go up. Meantime, we have breaking news this week as Liz Warren and Bernie Sanders and another legislator have separately introduced separate mirror copies of the same legislation to Congress to swap your COLA benefits out for CPI-E, which is basically inflation. Wow. Well, more about that tonight on Evenings LA. Basic takeaway is that your benefits are definitely going up, at least $300 a month, a lifetime, and they could go even higher if my analysis of where this economy is going is once again correct. Tonight on Evenings LA, we have a brand new show. It's at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, but you know what you need to do. Become a Purple Hawk, but become a Purple Power. Become a Calcino VIP. Go right in this video and become a member. Become a member, get those incredible checks. Become a member, get that emoji behind your name. Become a member and get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday and get these checks. Then watch all the videos throughout the day, especially the mornings, the noon, the 3 o'clock, the 5 o'clock, and the LALATE live show, which starts every day at about 5:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Because you need to know where this economy is at a blink of an eye. You need to know if it's downward spiraling very quickly because you have to prepare. Get these 4 stimulus checks in every US 8 and get yourself financially independent. Get yourself ready for the downward spiral of this economy. I love you to death. I don't want you to wait. You got a pre-warning. That does not mean you wait 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. You get those checks in the next 3 hours. Stay informed, stay focused. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you tonight on Evenings LA in prime time at 5 o'clock.